got a chance to see the second part of Season 6 of Cobra Kai. Yep, it's the ending. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Thank you so much for spending time with me as we rant about movies, comic books, and television shows, as well as the occasional board game. I am your host, Frank Zanka. I'm an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker. And yeah, writing a horror script right now for a client, and I just sent out a contract to do a new novel based in World War II, which should be my second. If you haven't seen anything that I've written, you can go to Amazon or even Audible and type in my name. Again, Frank Zanka, Z-A-N-C-A. And yeah, check all my stuff out. Remember to give me that like, give me that subscribe if you can. And if you can, subscribe, ring that bell, ding ding. It's free. Why not? Remember, too, that we are connected with Moonstone Books, who is doing a 90th anniversary Green Hornet anthology series. It's a novel, which is hardcover with Timothy Zahn, who is one of the creators of, I think he is the creator of Thrawn for Star Wars. And we also have Kevin J. Anderson, who's written a pile of sci-fi books, including Dune, Bill Willingham, cover art by Batman and Grendel artist Matt Wagner. Just a pile of amazing, amazing people involved in this book. Of course, we are fully funded at this point in Kickstarter, but we are about to unlock some stretch goals. So jump in there now, get involved, join the family. Go to greenhornetnoir.com or just click the link in the description below. It'll take you right over there. Yeah, you don't want to miss out on this. So jump in there now. All right, so let's talk about the second portion of the last season of Cobra Kai. I have an affinity for Cobra Kai, not just because I grew up with Karate Kid, but because I worked with Martin Kove, Marty is how I knew him, and he plays Kreese. He was in my Western, and on top of that, I just went to MegaCon, and I did get to see him, and I did go up to the booth. I didn't wait online. I went to the side, and he did. He came over and hugged me, so I haven't seen him in 10 years. And when we were on set, because the movie was 10 years ago, it was called Six Gun Savior. It was a Western. Marty loves Westerns, and we kind of developed a relationship because we were both fans of Westerns, and we used to go to a Western, like a luncheon. It was held, I think it was twice a month, at Saddle Ranch down in Sunset in Hollywood. But anyway, I got to meet Bruce Boxleitner and the other guy from The Walking Dead and Guardians of the Galaxy, the one who plays Yondu. Yeah, he was a big Western fan as well. So he came when he was not in Atlanta because he was shooting Walking Dead at the time. But anyway, I got to meet all these guys, and Billy had nothing going on, nothing. And he came out to our set to interview the cast and crew because he was trying to get a talk show or something like that off the ground. And I was really, really happy to hear that he had gotten, Cobra Kai. And I'm really glad that it relaunched his career. And we're going to talk about, how this thing ends as well. I'm not going to do too many spoilers here because if you haven't watched it, I would suggest watching it. Also, on the last movie I shot in L.A., I worked with Annalisa Cochran, who plays the girlfriend of the geek guy. I forgot his name. But anyway, so I worked with a lot. Dimitri. She plays Dimitri's girlfriend. And she is in the last episode. I was glad to see her pop up as well. So I have I know a lot of people on this thing. Too bad it's over. Maybe I could have got in on it. But anyway, so in the last portion of the first portion of the season, because they broke it up into 10 and then 5, which I think was pretty smart because it gave some anticipation to what they were going to be doing in the last 5 episodes and how they were going to wrap this up. And yeah, it's a little bit contrived at times, but I really like what they did with it. And also at Comic-Con, MegaCon, there was a bunch. They pretty much had everybody who was there. I know Mary Mauser was there. I think Bobby. I think that Bobby, the guy who plays Bobby Tanner. I think that him and Mary, which is Samantha, I think that they're like together. So anyway, Peyton List was at the last con I went to. I don't think she was at this one, but it's great to see everybody together. And I know that everybody was kind of upset whenever a series ends. Everybody kind of takes it very emotionally because they know they're not going to see these people that they've seen over and over and over again. They're not going to see them for a while. And a family is kind of created on set, which is one of the reasons I love set, is because you create this family environment, even if it's short-lived. Okay, and sometimes you keep in touch with people, and sometimes you don't. Of course, the last set I worked on when I worked on the film, I guess it's been about 6 months ago now. I really can't keep in touch with them, even though I can, like, text-wise or whatever. But I'm not going to see them because I'm in Atlanta and they're in LA, so the chance of me working with them again is pretty slim. But anyway, I think the writers here did a great job. I also watched the behind the scenes, and they openly said that they're fans as well, and they wanted to make sure that it would be something that they would want to watch and keep with the heart of the original Karate Kid series. And I do like the fact that they said, yeah, this is Cobra Kai, so we have to end it with Cobra Kai. And again, it was a little bit contrived because you had to have Sam and bow out. So Miyagi-Do basically bows out, which leaves Cobra Kai, and Peyton List's character, Tori, which I thought was very strange, because all the people in Japan or whatever else, that whole dojo there doesn't come back at all. So she's there by herself. Can you really be I know there was just the two, right? So I guess they were just giving up the male ending and or trophy. And she was just going for the female one. But again, I thought that was very strange how she was there by herself. Because in the last piece, Quan is killed. He was a dick anyway. And basically ended up killing himself for the most part. But the big, tall Russian guy, he ended up being the piece that instigated that death. And he doesn't really take it too badly. He takes whatever, I guess he had the hots for Sam, so whatever the way that Sam looked at him is how he wanted to see himself. So we had that going on. I was surprised about how Bobby, how his fight ended, and then you had the resurgence of Cobra Kai to the point where even Daniel, Ralph Macchio's character, ended up wearing a Cobra Kai gi, which I thought was very, very interesting. What a twist there. What a twist. And his wife, Courtney Hengler, is from Big Bang Theory. She actually played Sheldon's sister. I went back and watched a few of those things when she was younger. I think she's hot anyway. But this is basically, definitely by the end, you realize that this is Johnny's story. From the beginning to the end, it really is Johnny's story. It's Johnny coming to grips with his loss and his relationship with Kreese and all of how Kreese kind of destroyed his psyche when he was younger. And there's one just amazing scene that Billy has to cry. I mean, and boy, does he pull that scene off. I mean, that was fucking Oscar material there. Some of these performances are just off the chain. Just amazing. If these guys aren't winning an Emmy for some of these performances, I don't know why. Because they are doing such amazing, amazing work here. And yes, the fight scenes are kind of clunky, and they're kind of almost at half speed sometimes. Although some of the flips and everything like that are pretty good, but for the most part, the fight scenes are just average. But you know what? It doesn't matter because if you're not there for the fight scenes, you're there for the characters. And yeah, a lot of it, some of it's clunky completely. Like again, some of it just feels like the plot says so kind of thing. And in fact, I really thought that Johnny was going to use the crane move at the end. I really thought he was going to end up doing that, but he did. He did. That would have been cool, though. I think they thought about it, but they were like, I don't think we should go that far in that direction. And then you have Kreese and Silver end up. What's great about series that the producers know it's going to end, like this is the end. So all the stops are removed. Anybody can die. And or anybody can lose or anybody can win. And I really appreciate the fact that they didn't really hold back. The final thing between Kreese and Silver, I thought that was interesting. The special effects of it was, it's a TV budget. I can tell that, Netflix didn't give them the $200 million that they normally give some of these things. It's funny, too, because they show them running and they show the Encino sign, the Encino Commons. And I knew Casa Vega, they had Casa Vega in there. I used to eat lunch and I used to have meetings in I had dates in Casa Vega, in Studio City. So I was familiar with all of that. And during COVID, down in Encino Commons, I used to do a lot of pickups there because there was obviously no filming at the time. So I did Uber Eats while everything was down. And so yeah, I knew everything that they pulled up, every store they pulled up. I had been there because I lived in the Valley. That's where I lived for my 18 years in LA. I lived in Reseda, which was Karate Kid. That's where he lived. Of course, he didn't live in the same apartment complex I lived in, but everything that they highlighted was all part of my life. So it didn't really make me homesick, but I did have those memories pop back up just based on the pictures on the screen. But anyway, so I got to say that they ended it extremely well. In fact, the guy that that gets kicked in the head, who was the announcer, I just had gone to a seminar, it was for actors, but I'd go to meet people at some of these seminars and things like that. But anyway, he was there. I got to meet him. I forgot that he was even in this thing. But yeah, so it's funny the people that you pop into when you're in the industry, and then you see them on screen. You're like, oh wow, okay. Like when I worked with Annalisa, she never even told me she was in Cobra Kai, and I never looked it up. So when I saw her on the screen, I was like, oh wow. And of course I texted her. But anyway, so I think this season ended very, very strong, making it the series ending very, very strong. I liked almost everything that they did, and I liked the fact that they made this Johnny's story from beginning to end. So really, Daniel is just there for the ride. He's the one that's kind of pulling Johnny along throughout this entire thing. And of course, they keep bringing in people from the original Karate Kid movies, and then they'll show you, a flashback from the movies. And we get to see a scene with Miyagi, who's again, kind of deep fake, and then in black for the most part when he's fighting the skeleton guys. The guys dressed as skeletons, and I forgot what movie it was. I think it was the second movie or the first? I can't remember. It's been a long time since I've seen them. In fact, when I was having lunch with Marty during that luncheon, we during Christmas we would give each other little gifts, whatever else. But anyway, he gave that still happened somewhere. He gave me a Karate Kid DVD. It's like, really, Marty? Really? Anyway, really good stuff. And if you're not having the feels throughout this thing or tearing up during many of these scenes, then something wrong with you. They really know how to dig deep. And I think they did a good job. And I would give this, Micah, I don't give anything 10. So this is more of a 9 out of 10 for me. It's a really good. And if you haven't seen it, definitely see it. If you've never seen any Karate Kid stuff, then I suggest that at least watching the first and second one before jumping into Cobra Kai, because it'll give you a lot of information about who the characters are before you even see them. And we get to see the catching of the fly in the chopsticks from the first movie, and I like how that was tied up. These guys have no problem bringing the comedy when you're supposed to have a serious moment. All of a sudden, it's comedy. All right, well, that's it for me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Have you seen Cobra Kai? Do you like it? Do you not? I know it has a big fan base for sure. All right. Remember, too, to give me a like, give me a thumbs up if you can. And if you can subscribe, please do. Ring that bell. And if you can, jump into Green Hornet, the 90th anniversary anthology hardcover with Timothy Zahn, Kevin J. Anderson, cover art by Matt Wagner, Dennis Calero, a whole bunch of people. It's just amazing. Go to greenhornetnoir.com or click the link in the description below and help us get past that 15,000 mark. Again, we're only $700 from it. All right, I'll see you in the next episode. Thanks for watching, guys, and have a great week.